Hey, Peter.
What's up?
Did you bring your umbrella?
Oh, no.
Well, what do you do when it rains? I'm Adam Maness.
And I'm Peter Martin.
And you're listening to you're listening to the You'll Hear It podcast.
Coming to you from Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
You're hearing this lovely
I
intro.
need to grow a beard. Come on, like before the end of the episode.
You're listening to this lovely intro music by the one and only
MoveOn.org.
Brad Mehldau.
NPR.
This is from
PBS.
This is from his album Largo.
Barack
Come on,
Obama.
dude. It's my day.
Sorry.
Barack Obama.
I mean, this is all things I think about when I hear this. Sorry.
This is from Brad Mehldau's record Largo, 2002. This is from the opening track called When It Rains, and this is Solo Analysis Wednesday.
Yeah, buddy. Also known as Lawsuit Wednesday
So known
for
as-
extended play.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta cut this for a minute. We gotta take about 10 seconds before Atlantic Records or whoever was on this.
None such. I think. Yeah, Solo Analysis Wednesday leads to Lawsuit Thursday.
Have you ever checked out Largo at all? Have you ever checked out
love
the
it.
record?
Yeah, I haven't checked out in a while, and I actually forgot about that whole intro there. You know, the beauty of how it's recorded, but I don't know it like you do. That's why this is your day.
This is my day. So I love this solo. This is like I think this is one of his Brad Mehldau's one of his like more. This was kind of like when he got a little more mature. He was doing some really flashy stuff there in the late '90s and all those great like epic intros to all the things, all that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And this was like this whole record actually was a very like. Yeah, you know, I'm going to make some like pretty music, and that's what it's going to be. This one's kind of for people who aren't just like woo heads.
Exactly.
You know,
like this is for people that actually will pay for gigs
Yeah.
and attend. And I remember hearing him around this period too, and really when this record came out, my feeling that, or hearing in this music and what he was starting to get to, confidence.
Yeah.
Confidence in himself. Not to say that what he was doing before that, and he's done different things since then, which has really gotten even more interesting and confident. But it was like, let me just as a pianist be confident. Yeah, I can do the bebop stuff. I can do the Keith Jarrett, and he was getting a lot of flack for just like copying a lot of Keith Jarrett trio stuff or whatever. But he really started to find his own sound and just sort of double down on the things that he really does great as a jazz pianist.
Yeah. So the statement out of the gate here with that, you know, sort of that small chamber ensemble that kicks off the record, that tells you all you need to know about what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
You know, and then the choice here of personnel, he's got, you know, Larry Grenadier on bass, who
Total hack,
no,
con man,
absolute monster on the bass, and then
I mean, how great for this type of vibe. I mean, for
any type of vibes, but
because he's played a lot of different things with Brad in different styles, and he's a great player.
But this is Matt Chamberlain on drums. This is like a straight up groove pop guy.
Right.
And he just crushes this track. Yep. He really does.
And I think he really brought something, or at least, you know, emboldened Mehldau to play in a way that, you know, there's a lot of Brian Blade can play great like this.
Yeah,
There's
totally.
just so many great jazz drummers, but this kind of pushed him in another place, you know, that was not awkward at all.
So it's an AAB form. It's a very simple tune.
Love that band.
And then let's get into the first part of the solo here. Little thematic development going on.
Patient. Wow.
classic Brad Mehldau.
Yeah, right. A question followed by a question followed by a question. Yeah. Great.
And then the answer.
Yeah.
So I'll stop right here real quick. But one of the things, I mean, he's already, this is a kind of a short solo actually, but he takes it out. He takes these themes out. You mentioned like a question followed by a question.
Yeah.
But at the end of every phrase, he always hones it back in with the ba ba dee da da.
Right.
There's always like an answer, a period at the end, usually of an 8-bar phrase, which that's Brad Mehldau, who you think is like maybe doing some kind of crazy stuff, but he's always grounding it. And I think that's kind of a great lesson to learn here is no matter how far out you get, you can bring it back home.
Yeah, and he does it beautifully here. This is like a sort of classic example of him setting up the architecture, as you said, in a very traditional number of bars. And this is kind of almost a vamp, although you have that different, like where it goes up to the 4 chord.
A little bridge, yeah.
Yeah, but, he's able to do it, he's setting up the solo in a way that, it's answering, but he's also setting up what he's about to do next.
That's right.
By coming home so, like, straight down the middle. And then, but he kind of, like when he gets groovy, I love the way, like when he's bringing it where, a lot of pianists would kind of be just overtly right in the groove. He still kind of plays around with that a little bit, knowing that he can come back and so that it won't be so jarring.
This is one that he's definitely, I would say, laying back more than almost anything else I've ever heard him do. He's fluctuating the time, which I think is probably a response to Matt Chamberlain just being so like...
Yeah. And Grenadier really, I mean, Grenadier's fairly busy, but he's right in the...
Yeah, they're laying it down pretty thick. So.
And then you got the chamber, like some of that, was it a flute or clarinet or something, playing those long triplets over.
Yeah, it's some woodwind ensemble.
Like anti-groove and like... And Brad is kind of playing with both, like sitting right in the middle of all that, but creating a super thematic type of, just thematic, even when he's going out and whatever, just like theme, melody, theme.
It really creates this tension between, and I think most of the time actually he's doing triplets with his left hand. Boom, 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 over that eighth note.
Yeah.
All right, back to the bridge here.
Yeah.
Just a quote from here, but you don't think about maybe Brad Mehldau as someone who plays the blues a lot, but he actually does. It's just his version of it. You know what I mean? That last chorus that last section was the perfect example of the da 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 ba ba boom boom. I mean that's.
And I think with everything that's happened around it and where he is in the solo and how he's developing it, it's like he hits just the right amount of it. Like you could really he could have just sort of gone in there deeper, which would have been a little bit jarring, in terms of the continuum of how he's soloing.
Yeah. All right.
Interaction.
Yeah. Things are opening up. It's an ensemble with the rhythm section. That's where he ends it. There are a couple of things that stick out for me with some of the architecture of that and some of the note choices is, he really leans on the tonic and the fifth. da da da
Yeah.
ba boo throughout the whole thing, and I think that speaks a little bit of his, the composer in him who
Yeah.
understands that as all this stuff is going on, as the harmony gets thick with the other players.
Yeah.
Because you've done orchestration, that if you lean too long on something that's way out, it's not going to land.
Right.
So you can hear him kind of like pulling the harmony back with just those, melodically. And the other thing that stands out is this was a heavily produced L.A. recording from what I was in L.A. or New Jersey. Either way, it was like a big affair from what I remember reading the liner notes years ago. And there's still some cacks in there. Like there's some, you can hear him make mistakes, which to me, as someone has experience in the studio, that means that they chose this take on vibe.
On the vibe,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? So like he might have had cleaner ones.
Yeah.
And he let some of that cleanliness go because this was the one that had the vibe in the band.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that as I was playing too, because I was also thinking I would be shocked if he was not recording that live with the chamber group. I mean, obviously the rhythm section.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of times these things are later and later, but that's not the way they're playing. And a big shout out to the engineer and the production, because
Absolutely, yeah.
this is
John Bryan.
Yeah, right, exactly, John
Yeah.
Bryan. So, I mean, this is very hard to place, this instrumentation, and then the way that he is soloing. So, like, what I'm hearing, and, we're hearing it with headphones, which is a great reminder. If you're really into these recordings, it's like, listen with headphones if you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
get the real deal. But the separation, it's pretty wide, piano from left, obviously from left to right. But it's not like a huge piano sound. In fact, the bass, and the way I'm hearing it, the bass and the drums are placed a little bit even further out front. The chamber stuff is way in the back.
It's a pop production.
Yeah.
for sure.
Way in the back. And then the piano, I think it was very smart to not make it have this massive sound, but to more like spread it out wider and a little bit thinner.
Yeah, yeah.
And then let his thematic development kind of carry it. Whereas if you'd had this big kind of reverby, powerful sound, which you could have easily done, it would have been accurate.
Yeah.
There's just too much overlapping other things going on.
That's
potentially.
a really good observation. I didn't think about that. But
You would have
that's
had to
so
pull
true.
the drums way back, is what you
You
would have had to do.
and that would have lost the whole groove.
Yeah.
You would have lost the whole sound of that track there. That's good.
And this gives it that feeling, and who knows what he was thinking, and there's different ways you can place the music to make it sound different ways, which is cool, but very much his soloing was inside of the rhythm section, and it gives it that feeling. I think it works really well.
Yeah, a little bit different for us to hit something like this, but it's fun. It's a fun solo to think about because it's so specific to this era and to his playing, but it's good.
Yeah.
One of my favorite solos of his, for sure.
Good stuff.
Yeah, man. You want to do one of these? What do you got next?
Today, why don't we do it tomorrow?
Well,
or
that's
next
what I'm
week.
saying.
Let's
You
do
got,
it next
you
week.
got one coming up?
Well, we were talking about like a John Coltrane or something.
Let's
but
do it.
Yeah, we'll do it soon. Until then.
You'll hear